Let me tell you something. There comes a moment in every person's life when they have to make a decision. Not a small decision. Torch clears throat torch. Not a decision about what clothes to wear, what food to eat, or what movie to watch. I'm talking about the decision that separates the people who remain trapped in the same place for years from the people who rise, transform, and create a life they once only dreamed about. That decision is this: am I going to allow my circumstances to control me? Or am I going to control the person I become? Because the truth is, life will test you. Life will challenge you. Life will take away things you thought you could never live without. There will be mornings when you wake up and wonder if your efforts are even making a difference. There will be nights when you sit alone with your thoughts and question whether you are capable of achieving what you desire. And in those moments, your mindset becomes your greatest weapon, not your money, not your connections, not your background, not where you were born, your mindset. Torte clears throat tor. Because two people can face the exact same storm, the exact same difficulty, the exact same failure, and one person breaks while the other person becomes stronger. Why? Because the battle was never only happening outside of them. The greatest battles are fought within. I learned something years ago. The quality of your life is not determined by what happens to you. The quality of your life is determined by what you choose to do with what happens to you. You cannot always choose your circumstances, but you can always choose your response. You cannot control every event, but you can control your attitude. You cannot control every obstacle, but you can control the person you become while overcoming that obstacle. Think about this for a moment. Every successful person you admire has a story that you don't see. You see the achievement. You see the success. You see the confidence. But you don't see the mornings they wanted to quit. You don't see the failures they had to overcome. You don't see the rejection they faced. You don't see the moments when nobody believed in them. People celebrate the mountain, but they rarely understand the climb. And the difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people is not that extraordinary people never struggle. They struggle differently. They understand that struggle is not a sign that they should stop. Struggle is a sign that they are growing. Most people run from discomfort. They spend their entire lives trying to avoid anything difficult. They avoid challenges. They avoid risks. They avoid situations where they might fail. But here's what most people don't understand. The person who avoids pain today often creates a much greater pain tomorrow. Because there are two types of pain in life: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret can last a lifetime. The pain of waking up early when everyone else is sleeping. The pain of learning when your mind wants entertainment. The pain of staying focused when distractions are everywhere. The pain of saying no to things that destroy your future. That pain builds you. But regret is waking up 10 years from now and realizing you spent your greatest years making excuses. Regret is looking at your dreams and knowing you never gave yourself a real chance. Regret is knowing you had potential, but you never developed it. And I want you to understand something important. Your future self is watching the decisions you make today. The person you become 5 years from now is being created by the choices you make in this moment. Every book you read, every skill you develop, every promise you keep to yourself, every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are voting for the person you want to become. Your life does not change in one dramatic moment. Most people are waiting for some magical breakthrough. They think one opportunity will save them. They think one person will change everything. They think one lucky moment will suddenly transform their entire existence. But success rarely arrives like lightning. Success is built like a building, one brick at a time, one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one day at a time. The compound effect is one of the most powerful laws of life. Small actions repeated consistently create massive results. A person who improves 1% every day does not simply become slightly better. Over time, they become a completely different person. The problem is people underestimate small beginnings. They look at someone successful and say, they are lucky. Tourette clears throat tort. No, they are looking at the result of thousands of invisible decisions. They are looking at years of work nobody applauded. They are looking at sacrifices nobody noticed. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man who felt completely lost. He had no special advantages, no powerful family, no perfect education, no guarantee that things would work out. Every day, he compared himself to others. He looked around and saw people moving ahead while he felt stuck. One day, an older mentor asked him a simple question. Are you trying to win someone else's race? Or are you building your own path? That question changed everything. The young man realized he was spending more energy, feeling behind, than actually moving forward. He was measuring his beginning against someone else's middle. He started making small changes. He woke up earlier. He learned something new every day. He stopped feeding his mind with negativity. He stopped looking for approval from people who did not understand his vision. Months passed, then years passed, and one day people who knew him before started asking, "What happened to you? How did you change so much?" The answer was simple. He changed his mindset before he changed his life. Because your external world is often a reflection of your internal world. If you believe you are powerless, you will search for reasons why you cannot succeed. If you believe you are capable, you will search for solutions. The mind is a powerful instrument. A weak mind sees obstacles. A strong mind sees opportunities. A weak mind asks, "Why is this happening to me?" A strong mind asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" A weak mind looks for comfort. A strong mind looks for growth. And that brings me to something I want you to remember. You must stop negotiating with the weaker version of yourself. The weaker version of you wants comfort. The weaker version of you wants easy answers. The weaker version of you wants immediate results. But greatness requires patience. Greatness requires commitment. Greatness requires becoming someone who can handle the responsibility of the dreams you are chasing. Because sometimes your dream is bigger than your current identity. And before you receive what you want, you must become the person who can carry it. Many people want success, but they do not want the transformation required to achieve success. They want the reward without the responsibility. They want the results without the process. They want the victory without the battle. But life does not work that way. The seed must break before the tree can grow. The butterfly must struggle before it can fly. And you must challenge yourself before you can discover what you are truly capable of. Think about this. A person who has never faced difficulty has never discovered their strength. Sometimes the hardest seasons of your life are creating the strongest version of yourself. The rejection that hurt you may have redirected you. The failure that embarrassed you may have educated you. The struggle that exhausted you may have prepared you. You have to learn to see challenges differently. Not every closed door is a punishment. Sometimes it is protection. Not every delay is denial. Sometimes it is preparation. Not every setback means you are losing. Sometimes you are being built. Rule number 1 of an unbreakable mindset is this: you must take complete responsibility for your life. Not because everything is your fault, but because responsibility gives you power. The moment you stop blaming, you start building. The moment you stop making excuses, you start creating solutions. The moment you stop waiting for someone else to save you, you begin saving yourself. Successful people are not successful because they have fewer problems. They are successful because they have developed the ability to handle problems. They train their mind. They strengthen their discipline. They control their emotions. They keep promises to themselves because every promise you break to yourself weakens your confidence, and every promise you keep strengthens your identity. If you tell yourself you are going to wake up early and you do it, you prove to yourself that your word has value. If you tell yourself you are going to exercise and you do it, you prove that your goals matter. If you tell yourself you are going to learn and improve and you follow through, you build trust with yourself. Confidence is not created by motivation. Confidence is created by evidence. You become confident because you have evidence that you can depend on yourself. And the person who can depend on themselves becomes extremely difficult to defeat because when the world changes, they adapt. When challenges appear, they respond. When failure comes, they learn. When people doubt them, they continue. This is the mindset of someone who refuses to surrender. And let me tell you something else. You cannot build a powerful life with a weak relationship with time. Time is the one currency every human being receives equally. The richest person and the poorest person both receive 24 hours. The difference is not the amount of time. The difference is the value they create with that time. Most people waste their most valuable resource chasing things that do not matter. They spend hours consuming, but minutes creating. They spend hours watching other people build their dreams while ignoring their own. They give their attention to distractions and then wonder why their life does not move forward. Your attention is your life. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. Where your energy goes, your results grow. Protect your mind. Protect your focus. Protect your environment, because the people around you influence the person you become. Your environment is either helping you rise or encouraging you to remain comfortable. Surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking, people who inspire growth, people who believe in becoming better. Because a great conversation can change your direction. A great book can change your perspective. A great mentor can change your entire future. I learned something years ago. You don't accidentally become successful. You become successful by design. You decide what you value. You decide what habits you build. You decide what standards you accept. You decide what kind of person you will become. And every day, life asks you the same question. Are you becoming stronger, or are you becoming comfortable? Because comfort is dangerous when it becomes your permanent home. Comfort feels good today, but can cost you tomorrow. Growth feels difficult today, but rewards you for years. The person you want to become is waiting on the other side of the actions you keep avoiding. The conversation you need to have, the skill you need to learn, the habit you need to create, the fear you need to face, and sometimes the biggest obstacle between you and your future is not the world outside of you. It is the voice inside of you telling you that you cannot. But that voice is not the truth. That voice is simply the old version of you trying to protect itself from change, because change is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Becoming someone new requires leaving behind who you used to be, and that is where many people stop. They get close to transformation, but they return to familiarity, because familiarity feels safer. Because familiarity feels safer. But understand this, the comfort zone is not where dreams are built. The comfort zone is where dreams go to disappear. A lot of people are not failing because they are incapable. They are failing because they have become too comfortable with a life that does not satisfy them. They have accepted average. They have accepted excuses. They have accepted the idea that this is just how life is. But there is something powerful about a person who decides one day, enough is enough. I am no longer going to live beneath my potential. That decision changes everything, because before your circumstances change, your standards must change. Your life will rarely rise above the standard you set for yourself. If you tolerate laziness, laziness becomes your identity. If you tolerate negativity, negativity becomes your environment. If you tolerate broken promises to yourself, you begin to lose trust in your own ability. But when you raise your standards, your life begins to respond. You start asking better questions. You start making better choices. You start becoming aware of opportunities that were always around you, but invisible to your old mindset. Let me tell you something. A person with a powerful mindset does not wait for the perfect moment. They create momentum. They understand that action creates clarity. Many people say, when I know exactly what to do, then I will begin. But life does not work like that. You do not always discover the path before you start walking. Sometimes the path appears because you had the courage to take the first step. The first step creates the second step. The second step creates confidence. Confidence creates momentum. Momentum creates transformation. But if you stand still waiting for certainty, you can spend years watching opportunities pass by. Think about this for a moment. A ship in the ocean cannot change direction unless it is moving. A person cannot change their life unless, they are willing to move. You learn by doing. You grow by experiencing. You become stronger by facing things that challenge you. There is a lesson hidden inside every attempt. Even failure has value. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. The person who never fails is usually the person who never tries anything meaningful. Every great achievement has a graveyard of mistakes behind it. Every successful entrepreneur, every great athlete, every influential leader, every person who built something valuable, they all have moments where things did not work. The difference is they refuse to let one chapter define the entire story. They understood that a mistake is an event, not an identity. You made a mistake. You experienced failure. You faced rejection. But you are not your failure. You are the person who decides what happens next. That is the power of mindset. The world can take many things from you, but it cannot take away your ability to choose your response. And that ability is where your freedom begins. I want you to understand another important principle. Your emotions are valuable, but they should not always be in control. Many people allow temporary feelings to make permanent decisions. They feel tired, so they quit. They feel afraid, so they avoid. They feel uncertain, so they stop. But successful people have learned something different. They do not wait until they feel ready. They become ready through discipline. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when your emotions are giving you reasons not to. Because motivation is temporary. Motivation is like a spark. It can start the fire, but discipline keeps the fire burning. There will be days when you feel inspired. There will be days when you feel unstoppable. But there will also be days when you feel nothing. Those are the days that reveal who you truly are. Anyone can work hard when everything is going well. Anyone can be positive when life is easy. Anyone can believe when success is visible. But the person who continues when results are invisible, that person develops a different level of strength because character is built in moments nobody sees. The world sees the achievement, but the achievement is created in private. It is created when you choose learning instead of entertainment. It is created when you choose preparation instead of excuses. It is created when you choose patience instead of instant gratification. Here's what most people don't understand. The habits you repeat today are creating the life you experience tomorrow. Your habits are not just actions. Your habits are votes for your future identity. Every time you pick up a book, instead of wasting an hour, you are becoming someone who values growth. Every time you exercise, when you would rather stay comfortable, you are becoming someone who respects your body. Every time you work on your goals, when nobody is watching, you are becoming someone who can achieve extraordinary things. Small choices seem insignificant in the moment, but time multiplies everything. Time multiplies effort. Time multiplies neglect. Time multiplies discipline. Time multiplies excuses. The question is not whether time will change your life. The question is what time will multiply, because 5 years from now, you will arrive somewhere. The question is where. Will you arrive with new skills, new confidence, new wisdom, new opportunities? Or will you arrive carrying the same excuses you carry today? That question deserves your attention, because your future is not created by wishes. Your future is created by repeated actions. A dream without action is only imagination. A goal without commitment is only a desire. A vision without discipline remains only a thought. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is built through consistent effort. And sometimes that effort feels boring. That is something people need to understand. Success is often not glamorous. People imagine success as the final moment. They imagine the applause. They imagine the celebration. They imagine the reward. But they forget the thousands of ordinary days that created that extraordinary moment. Success is built on ordinary days. The days when you wake up and do the work. The days when nobody notices. The days when nobody congratulates you. The days when you have no proof that your efforts are working. Those days matter the most, because those days are where you are building yourself. You are not just building a business. You are not just building a career. You are building character. And character is the foundation of everything. Money without character can disappear. Success without wisdom can become dangerous. Achievement without discipline cannot last. But when you build yourself first, everything you create becomes stronger. I learned something years ago. The goal is not simply to get more. The goal is to become more, become wiser, become stronger, become more valuable, become more disciplined, become someone who can handle bigger responsibilities. Because life does not reward potential alone. Life rewards developed potential. There are millions of people with talent, millions of people with ideas, millions of people with dreams. But the world is changed by people who combine talent with action. People who combine vision with discipline. People who combine ambition with patience. You might have incredible potential inside you, but potential without development remains hidden. A seed contains the potential of a forest, but it still needs water, sunlight, and time. Your potential is the seed. Your habits are the water. Your discipline is the sunlight. And your patience is the time required for growth. Do not dig up the seed every day asking, why is it not a tree yet? Give yourself time. Give yourself consistency. Give yourself the opportunity to become. Because one of the biggest mistakes people make is judging themselves too early. They start something for a few weeks and expect a lifetime transformation. They build a habit for a month and expect a new identity. They work hard for a short season and expect permanent results. But transformation requires endurance. The person you want to become is not created overnight. A strong mind is built through thousands of small moments where you choose growth over comfort. And every time you make that choice, something changes inside you. You become a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more prepared. And eventually, the person you are becoming begins to feel natural. The discipline that once felt too difficult becomes your standard. The actions that once required motivation become your lifestyle. The things you once struggled to do become part of who you are. This is the secret most people miss. You do not achieve success and then become disciplined. You become disciplined, and that discipline creates success. You do not become confident and then take action. You take action and confidence follows. You do not wait to become fearless before moving forward. You move forward. Encouragement is developed through the movement. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision that something else is more important than your fear. Your dream must become more important than your excuses. Your future must become more important than your comfort. Your purpose must become more important than temporary distractions. Because every day you are choosing something. You are either choosing the future you want, or you are choosing the comfort that keeps you where you are. And the most dangerous thing about comfort is that it does not always feel dangerous. It feels peaceful. It feels safe. It feels easy. But years later, you may discover that the things you avoided, because they were uncomfortable, were the very things that could have changed your life. The conversation you avoided, the skill you refused to learn, the opportunity you were too afraid to pursue, the dream you kept postponing. And that is why you must develop the courage to challenge yourself. Not because you hate where you are, but because you respect where you could go. You owe it to yourself to discover what is possible. You owe it to yourself to see how far you can grow. You owe it to yourself to stop living with the question, what if I had tried? Because the heaviest weight a person can carry is not failure. It is unrealized potential. It is knowing there was more inside you. It is knowing you had another level. It is knowing you could have become someone greater, but you never demanded more from yourself. And this is where the next transformation begins. Because the moment you stop asking, why is life so difficult? And start asking, how can I become stronger? You begin to unlock a completely different level of thinking. You begin to unlock a completely different level of thinking. Because the greatest transformation in your life will not begin when everything around you changes. It will begin when something inside you changes. The moment you decide chore, clears throat chore, that you are no longer willing to settle. The moment you decide that your excuses have expired. The moment you decide that your future deserves more than your comfort. That is the moment everything begins to move. Remember this, nobody is coming to live your life for you. Nobody is coming to build your discipline for you. Nobody is coming to wake up every morning and chase your dreams for you. The responsibility is yours, and that is not a burden. That is your power. Because if the responsibility belongs to you, then the ability to change belongs to you as well. You have more control than you realize. You have more strength than you have discovered. You have more potential than you have allowed yourself to believe. But potential means nothing until you make a decision to act, a decision to grow, a decision to become the person you know you can be. Do not wait for the perfect day. There is no perfect day. There is only the day you choose. Choose today. Choose to become stronger. Choose to become wiser. Choose to become disciplined. Choose to stop living as a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the creator of your future. Because your life is not changed by what you know. Your life is changed by what you do with what you know. You can listen to thousands of motivational speeches. You can read hundreds of books. You can collect endless knowledge. But at some point, knowledge must become action. A person who knows but does not act remains exactly where they are. But a person who acts, learns, adjusts, and continues forward becomes unstoppable. So take the first step. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when fear disappears. Take the step while you are afraid. Take the step while you are uncertain. Take the step while the results are not visible, because every great journey begins with someone believing before there is evidence. The world may not recognize your effort today. People may not understand your vision today. Some may even doubt you. But remember, the seed grows underground before anyone sees the tree. Your preparation happens before your success becomes visible. Your discipline is creating a future that your current eyes cannot yet see. Keep building. Keep learning. Keep improving. Keep showing up. Because one day the person you become will thank you for the sacrifices you made. The future version of you will look back at this moment and be grateful that you did not quit, that you did not surrender, that you did not allow temporary struggles to destroy permanent dreams. Understand this. Your past does not have the authority to define your future. Your mistakes do not have the power to limit your possibilities. Your failures do not have the right to decide your destiny. The only thing that matters is what you choose from this moment forward. Every morning is another opportunity. Every challenge is another lesson. Every obstacle is another chance to prove to yourself what you are capable of. Build a mind that cannot be easily defeated. Build habits that support your vision. Build discipline that carries you when motivation disappears. Build a character so strong that when life becomes difficult, you do not break. You become stronger, because life does not reward the person who never faces storms. Life rewards the person who learns how to stand in the storm. The person who keeps moving. The person who keeps believing. The person who keeps becoming. So remember these words. You are not here just to exist. You are here to grow. You are here to learn. You are here to create. You are here to become a version of yourself that inspires others. Do not waste your opportunity. Do not waste your time. Do not waste the incredible possibility that exists inside you. The world does not need another person who gives up when things become difficult. The world needs people who rise, people who build, people who lead, people who understand that greatness is not something you are given. Greatness is something you earn through your choices, your habits, your discipline, and your commitment. So, make a promise to yourself today. A promise that you will no longer run from growth. A promise that you will no longer allow fear to make your decisions. A promise that you will respect your dreams enough to work for them. because the life you desire is waiting on the other side of the person you are becoming. The journey will not always be easy. The road will not always be clear. There will be moments when you question yourself. There will be moments when progress feels slow. There will be moments when you have to remind yourself why you started. And in those moments, remember, a mountain is climbed one step at a time. A masterpiece is created one stroke at a time. A great life is built one decision at a time. So, take that next step. Keep moving. Keep growing. Keep becoming. Because your story is still being written. And the next chapter begins with the choice you make today.